Hi, I'm Victor from Watermark Bindery. We make fine handmade journals and photo albums. And this video is about showing you how to mount photos in our traditionally made photo albums. This is a question we very often get from our customers. And you may have seen our article on our website at watermarkbindery.com. So this video is just a complement to the article we have written on our website. I wanted to show you a few of the options that exist in mounting photos in our albums, the pros and cons, and just demonstrate in this video how I would do it. Before I start showing you the options, let me introduce you to our albums first. This is our 10x10 photo album in Tangerine Suns. It has 56 pages counting front and back, and it is made by hand, by us, to order in a very traditional way. We use an off-white, actually a natural white, 80-pound cover stock paper, which is really heavy. It has a felted surface. It's a wonderful paper to mount photos on. It's also a great paper to write on with any kind of pen, felt pen, ink. It takes it all very well. We saw tabs between our pages, and you can see that they're little stub tabs between our pages to compensate for the thickness of the photos when they're mounted, because if we didn't have those tabs, the book would just bulge out from the thickness of the photos, and obviously it would compromise the structure and the stability of the book. So the tabs that you can see here really are placeholders for the photos themselves. Good, that's our book. We have our photo albums available in 3 sizes. This is our 10x10 with 56 pages standard, up to 80 pages. It's great for fitting 2 4x6 photos on each page. We have the smaller size, which is our 9x7 landscape format, which is great for 1 photo per page, also standard with 56 pages, up to 80 optional. And we have our very large photo album, which is our 13x13, approximately 13 inches tall by 13 inches wide. Fantastic to hold 3 4x6 or even 5x7 photos per page, or even a large 8x10. That book comes standard with 92 pages. Great. Well, let's talk about mounting methods. In the article I described various ways you can mount. Probably the most traditional way to mount photos is using photo corners. Photo corners are pretty simple. They're just little sticky things that you put down on the page, and the photo gets put in the corner and is held down physically. Great advantage to other mounting methods is, of course, that the photo itself does not have to be glued down. It can be removed. It is very well protected, and it is the very traditional and a very stylish way of actually mounting photos. And I will show you how that can be done. These particular ones are the Canson photo corners, which we like quite a bit. They're available in gold, they're available in black, they're available in white. For a more modern take on this, there are the Lineco photo corners, which are a polypropylene. They are transparent, and they're quite nice to achieve a more modern look, because you can't really see them. So the photo itself stands out. The photo corner itself is in the background. It's really not all that visible. It's very important, by the way, to make sure whatever mounting method you use, that it is archival and it's acid-free, because our books are archival, acid-free. The papers will not yellow, it will not fall apart. You want to keep that book for many, many years. And the last thing you want to have is a cheap mounting method that ends up destroying the photos, the look of the book, and just not last as long as the rest of the materials do. Photo sticks are, or photo splits I should say, they're little double-sided sticky things, little pads that are attached to the back of the photo, and then there's a little cover here that's removed, and so they're basically little strips of double-sided tape, if you will. Obviously they will hold the photo itself down, don't require a photo corner. We all know the glue stick, of course. Make sure it's acid-free if you use that. It's great to hold things down, although I'm not all that impressed with the tackiness of the glue stick. It seems to be better and more suitable when you want to position things, just keep them down temporarily, but you still want to go and mount them in a more permanent way later on. There are many different glue sticks available, of course. This happens to be the well, this is an Avery one, we have Scotch one, and various other manufacturers. Here's a product, I think it's called the Tape Runner, and it's basically like the Photos Splits. It's actually double-sided tape, except it's a continuous tape that you can dispense through this thing called the Tape Runner. You hold it down and then it dispenses it, and then it glues down to the surface, and the top of the tape is also sticky. This is available in most scrapbooking supplies. Now I happen to have the more industrial version. This is not a Tape Runner. This is made by Scotch. It uses their double-sided archival sticky tape. I love this thing. It's obviously very good for environments where you use a lot of it, and I do use a lot of it, so this is a great thing. I'll show you how this works. Finally, and I mentioned it in the article as well, it's a spray. It's a photosafe adhesive called PhotoMount. I've used it. I don't want to demo it today because it's kind of smelly and it is sticky. This stuff is pretty bomb-proof, I found, and because of that, I don't like it that much. I think if you really want to go mount photos and make sure they never come off, this is your material. This is your mounting method. This is the right stuff to use. But it is obviously you know, sort of industrial solution to this. Okay, well, let's mount a photo. Let me just pick a page here and move and show you how I would go and mount a photo using photo corners. And let me pick one here. Here's your quintessential prototypical wedding photo. I'll grab my Canson photo corners and I'll start mounting this photo. Now the first thing to notice with these particular photo corners is they are sticky. You just remove them and they're sticky. Some photo corners you buy need to be moistened to be sticky. These do not. I'll just remove one and I'm going to put it and slide it onto one of the corners of my photo. Slide it on, make sure it's straight, and then, and I like to have the book sideways, so I'm actually moving sideways a little bit, because then I can line up my edges better, make a little room. And so what I do is I lay down the photo while holding the corner that has a photo corner in it up, so that doesn't touch. I just lay out the photo like so, make sure, and I can walk around. It's great to do it on a table where you have a little bit of room and you can position yourself, because you do want it straight. So now I'm pretty happy with the way it's laid out. If you want to use a tool like a T-square, that's great, that works. Make sure it's aligned to the edge of the page. But doing it by eye is not bad either. And you know, it's something that doesn't have to be totally 100%, but it should look nice, and because it is something you create and you want to be able to look at. So once I'm satisfied with the layout here and positioning top and down, I'll lay down my photo, tap my photo corner, and here we go. Oops. Grab my second photo corner and slide it over the opposing corner of the photo while holding it up. And here I have another opportunity to do some small alignment, just in terms of making sure it's square. And I'm doing this. I'm going to put my finger down on this corner, lay this down and tap it, and here we go. Now we could leave it at that. The photo holds in place, not a problem, but I kind of like to see things complete, so I'm going to slide it on the remaining corners, tap it down. Same here. Slide it in and tap it down, and here we go. And it's a beautiful look in particular case. You have the golden photo corner. This is more of a traditional look. If you wanted something that is more modern, then you can do the same thing with the transparent photo corners, and it gives you a slightly different look. Now the beauty with a photo corner, of course, is that that you can remove the photo. The photo itself is not damaged, no glue goes on it, it's right there, and of course you can go and replace it with another photo. So it is something that it has some flexibility. Now once these corners are stuck down, however, they are usually not removable. You could, however, if they're not totally down, in this particular case I removed this. Our paper is very strong, and if you're very careful in removing it, you can do that without damaging the surface of the paper. So that's possible. It's something you couldn't really do for much longer, but still. And one of the good ways, by the way, to remove the corner or anything that's glued down is you can worry it off. Take a butter knife. Don't take a sharp kitchen knife. Take a dull knife like a butter knife or a spatula, and you can worry it off. Let me show you. I have a little spatula. I can have a little spatula that I will use and show you how this is done. And this is true. You can slide this in, and then you kind of slide it in a little bit and just worry it off very carefully, and that often works. So that is just a trick you can use really for anything. All right, well, let's try another way to mount. Let's pick the glue stick. You know, that's a pretty straightforward process. You take the glue stick, apply the glue. As I mentioned earlier, I found the glue stick to not be that permanent mounting solution, but it is pretty good when you position things. So let's say you want to just lay out your album and you want to position your photos. This actually doesn't even work at all because this is an original old photo, and so it actually has kind of a plasticky back, and that doesn't really work for the photo stick. So, but we can try something else, and let's just take this photo here. Again, it's an old photo. You know, what's also nice about our photo albums is they are analog. You don't need digital photos. In fact, they're great for those photos you have taken well before you even knew what a digital camera was. Well, let's take this photograph, and we can use our tape runner. And instead of using Diane's little tape runner, I'll just use my industrial guy here. And I'll just slide this across, and here we go. I just did 2 lines of it, and you might be able to see it in the light if I tilt it, and I can go and position this, set it down, and here we go. And that holds really well, actually. That holds quite well, and it does a great job, and so I would, if you don't want to use photo corners, I would suggest that. Here again, you can worry it off at some other time. For some time after you put it on, it comes off cleanly if you're careful with it. It does set over time, and it will eventually stick enough that if you try to pull it off, it will take the surface of the paper off, and will damage the book. So if you make corrections, do make them soon after applying the photo. Well, I hope this gives you some sense of how to go about it. It can be pretty frustrating to do and lay out an entire book. It can be frustrating because you have to make a lot of decisions. It's a creative process, but it's something you should turn around and make fun. This is your book, and it becomes yours as you write in it. It becomes yours as you put your photos in it. It becomes yours as you decide how to lay them out. And don't be shy. You can move things around. You can tilt things. Things don't have to be square. They can be angled. Take a pen and write in it. Just make it a very personal thing. And the beautiful thing is, as you look through it later on, you can annotate it. You can add things. You might even add a photo. You might remove one, or you change it around. So it can really be a wonderful a wonderful book that you use year after year after year, and it's never really done until you decide it's done, unlike a photo book where you have to take the decision from the very beginning to the very end before you can even make the first page of the book. A traditional photo album can be a living document, if you will, in which you can just add things, modify things, move things around. And if you're done and you want to start over, you can take all your pictures out, provided they're not all glued in permanently, and start over with a new book. So it's a wonderful way to do scrapbooking. It's a wonderful way to do a photo album, and we would sure love to make one for you. Thank you very much.